Listen, Impact, TNA. We're going to refer to you as TNA from now on because that's what we're building towards. TNA, I love you, but we are less than 3.5 weeks away from Hard to Kill. I know we're getting another part 2 next week for the best of 2023. And I'm hoping after this, give us regular episodes because I just want to build towards what we're doing for Hard to Kill. And I'm really excited about Hard to Kill, but hello everyone, all you Bi-Conics wrestling nerds out there. Welcome to another edition of Table for Two plus You, the penultimate episode of this version of our review because we are changing our name henceforth come January. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we are here to review another weekly episode of Impact Wrestling. This is the part 1 of the Best of 2023 special that they aired, where they're going to go over the best matches, Big 4 pay-per-views. There are some matches in the non-Big 4 I feel should be on here, but that's neither here nor there. I am one of your hosts, Mikey. Joined with me this evening is my other lovely co-hosts, Will and Andrew. And tonight, we're going to do something a little different because this is more of a glorified clip show, as Will has put in our group chat multiple occasions, which is absolutely right. We're going to spend half of this going over everything in the actual 2-hour episode that we watch. But more importantly, we're going to spend the second half going over Hard to Kill because they've announced some matches and we got our pre-show matches already determined too. And listen, that's more interesting than this clip show. I still enjoy the clip show, don't get me wrong, but out of the 3 folks here, I'm at a major disadvantage because I've watched all these matches already because I've watched every single pay-per-view this year from Impact and I've seen all these matches already. But it was nice to remember and be like, yeah, Impact had some weird times this year because this year was the spring into summer was rough for Impact, especially we'll get into it because you're the first time in Impact history, your men and women's main title champions were both vacated at the same time. I was like, oh, we'll talk about that when we get to it. But let's just jump right into it. So we opened up this episode with our commentators, Matthew Raywald, the Drama King himself, and Tom Hannafan. They basically welcome everyone to the best of 2023. They give us the rundown of what's going to happen, that we were going to see some of the highlights of Impact Wrestling from their pay-per-views in 2023. And interlaced in between said matches is going to be the results of the end of the year awards that the Impact audience got to vote on a couple weeks back in November. So that was a lot of fun. I got to participate in that. That was a lot of fun. And so far, everything that I have chosen for my favorites definitely got the win. So it makes me feel great that the people watching Impact picked the right, in my opinion, awards. Now, we'll talk about it when we get to men's, because men's was really hard to pick this year, but we'll get into that. But let's just go in from there. After this, we get our pre-introduction, and our first match of the evening is a shortened version from the Hard to Kill 2023 pay-per-view. This was for the Impact World Championship. This was Josh Alexander, who was champion at the time, taking on the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner from Bound for Glory 2022, Bully Ray, in a Full Metal Mayhem match. I forgot how much fun this match was.
Yeah, I had not actually seen this match. This was before I got back into TNA Impact. I hadn't actually seen this. It looked like a crazy match. The spots that we got to see, that the Josh Alexander falling off the ladder onto the thumbtacks in the ring from the entrance ramp was insane. When his wife came down eventually and got involved, I loved that. I love how she got involved. And it was funny because I know this was back in January, right?
Yep. This was on Friday the 13th of all things too, which was funny.
So it was an awesome match. I liked seeing all the action that we got to see. Super brutal. Yeah, I have my thoughts about Tommy Dreamer's involvement in this match, not really being involved in the story that led up to this or not having any knowledge of it. I can't say much, but from what I did see, I really enjoyed, though, Josh Alexander's wife when she came down and got involved. She was awesome.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah.
Having her involved in this match was great. I'm going to let you speak on what we saw, and then I'm going to give you the history, because Tommy Dreamer's involvement comes from like the last couple of months of 2022 leading into Hard to Kill, which was also a very weird time. But this was your first time watching this Full Metal Mayhem match from Hard to Kill 2023. What did you think of the and just to forewarn you, this was not the full match, because this was just.
Oh, I know. I know.
I do highly recommend y'all go watch the full match because it was baller. But what'd you think of the Full Metal Mayhem match?
What I saw, I really enjoyed. It was really good. It was good. I was like, wow, it was brutal and just, yeah, I agree with Andrew. All the points he mentioned, I was right there on it. When his wife came in was probably the highlight of that whole thing. I didn't understand the Tommy Dreamer thing either, because it was just like, came in, there's like, okay, and then he turns on Bully Ray, and then he was done. It was like, okay, all right, okay, we'll just leave him in the corner there and continue what we're doing. And I'm one of those people, as a theater person, when there's something sitting on the stage and no one uses it, it bugs the crap out of me. So with Tommy Dreamer in the corner over there, I was just like, is he gonna do something? The whole time. The rest of the time, I was like, is he gonna do something? Throw something in this? Is he gonna? So it bugged the crap out of me. But overall, and I agree, that off that ladder onto those thumbtacks, and then even when he did the jump off, that's a high. I was like, damn. And then just me as a human being, the impact, I was just like, ow. I know it's, you land a certain way, you train that way, but I was in pain. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was great. I need to go back and watch the full match.
Yeah, this was, and the funny thing is, this was the opening match to Hard to Kill. This was not even the main event.
Dang.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so this Full Metal
Hell of
Mayhem
an
match,
opener.
this opened Hard to Kill because, and I actually really loved Impact Wrestling for doing this, their main event for Hard to Kill was the next match we saw, which was for the Knockouts Championship between Mickie James and Jordynne Grace. Now, before we get into the match, to quickly summarize, Tommy Dreamer's involvement in the Full Metal Mayhem match stems from that after Bully Ray had won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet at Bound for Glory 2022, the next couple of months, Bully Ray made his way through the island of Busted Open Radio, if anybody is familiar with that. So Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, Mickie James, and one other person, they're all involved in a podcast called Busted Open Radio. So it's like a wrestling podcast. It's wild sometimes. Mark Henry is also there too, which is also fun. But the point being is, for some odd reason, Scott D'Amore grabbed every single person involved in that podcast, and that was Bully Ray's feuds leading into this Full Metal Mayhem match. He fought Tommy Dreamer. He fought the other co-host who's not really a wrestler. He fought one of the hockey guys that was involved in this podcast too. And then he also had a mixed match tag team where he fought Mickie James, which was really great. I think he and Deonna, it was him and Deonna versus Mickie and I think Tommy. Yeah, it was Tommy. It was really weird. But Mickie James smacking the crap out of Bully Ray was really fun to watch.
Oh, bad.
It was so much fun. Though there were some tense moments, like what he did in this year's Call Your Shot Gauntlet. He pulled Mickie James by the hair to the floor. I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. But in the end, Mickie James got one over. So that's where Tommy Dreamer's involvement goes, because Bully Ray beat the crap out of Tommy Dreamer too, leading into this match. And so he wanted to get even.
Gotcha.
So I was like, okay, there's that. Cool. We're moving on from there. Now let's talk about the good shit. The Full Metal Mayhem was good stuff, but when I tell you, when I first watched the Knockouts World Championship between Jordynne Grace and Mickie James, I cried because I forgot that Mickie is part Native American. Again, go watch the whole match. Her whole entrance, she had Native American people do like a chant for her and like a war cry thing as part of her entrance. And that was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen on wrestling television. And that was only at the beginning of the year. But when I went into this match, because the commentary reiterated during this match, this was title versus career. Either Mickie James wins the title off of Jordynne Grace, or she rides off into the sunset and retires. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, Mickie James is definitely winning this when I made my prediction. And sure enough, she did. But again, this was a simplified version of the match, but this match ruled.
Yeah,
The whole entire match is good.
This match was awesome. It wasn't a surprise that this match was awesome. Between the two of these competitors, I'm super glad I got to see parts of it because, again, I didn't see this whole match. But, damn, they were going. When Jordynne Grace hit her with the Juggernaut driver, or the Grace driver, Jordynne driver, whatever they're calling it, I thought that was the end of it. And it's funny because I know that Mickie James obviously won, because I've seen the stories that came after it, but they were doing such a good job that for a moment I didn't even, logic wasn't there. I believed what was happening in the moment, but they were so good. It was such a cool match. I love that it's just reminding me of how much good stuff Impact TNA has been putting on recently, especially in the last year, and building up to what got them to this year. So I think in a way that's also exciting me for, okay, if they did this last year, like this next year is going to be even more exciting.
I had to, when I was watching this match, it was funny because I was like, I know, because I was in the same boat. I was watching it and I was like, wait a minute. Like, she wins this, right? Jordynne Grace doesn't win this. I was like, I literally had to go Google it because I doubted myself. I was literally like, wait a minute, no, she wins this. She wins it. Because I thought for sure Jordynne Grace was going to win it. For sure thought. They sucked me right in. I was like, all right, okay, good job. Then I felt stupid afterwards. But I know she wins. I literally had to go Google search to make sure I wasn't wrong. But yeah, this match was fantastic. This is another one. I have a list of the ones I need to go back and watch. And this is one of them. Both of these are actually. Because I want to see that. I want to see the whole that first one for sure. And I want to see the beginning of this one as well.
The whole entire Hard to Kill pay-per-view was a really strong start too. So later you guys can take a look at the card. It was actually really good. Yeah, Hard to Kill 2023 started off Impact for the year really well. And I was like, perfect. These are the two matches that you definitely want to show everyone because Hard to Kill was great and they had a strong opener and a strong finish. So great. Then we come back to our commentary team inside the arena where they announce our first recipient of the 2023 awards for the Knockout Tag Team of the Year. Our winners are MK Ultra, which is the right choice. We haven't seen them in the last 2-3 months. When they came onto the scene this year, there's honestly, that was the right choice. And I also loved seeing the little acceptance speeches that everybody gave too. It was so corny and cheesy, but I loved it. But TNA, please put MK Ultra back on my television screen. That is what I want in 2024, more MK Ultra. And hopefully with all these signings that you're doing, we need more knockout tag teams because right now it's just Shantaraj, MK Ultra, and the Death Dolls at the moment.
Yeah, the biggest thing that bums me out about this is I saw this award and I was like, of course, who else are they going to give it to? But that bums me out because it should be an of course, even if they had a stacked women's or knockouts tag team division, because MK Ultra is so good that it just extra bums me out that we don't get to see them shine in a full knockouts division, which I hope like it's clear that they know what they have with them as performers and as a tag team, so I'm really hoping that they're just holding their plans to get to Hard to Kill and the next year in TNA, because yeah, they're so good. They're one of my, I enjoy watching them as a tag team up there with tag teams in general in professional wrestling, not just men or women's and not just in Impact.
I thought it was well deserved as well, and I think that they are underused for sure. That literally I'm like, where have they been? Have they been on vacation? What? Did she take her to Russia? What's going on? I'm confused. I'm just like, we haven't heard nothing from them.
The last time we saw them, which was still horrible, they cut this from the actual pay-per-view. But last time I saw them in action was in the digital exclusive for Bound for Glory when they faced Tasha and Deonna for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship.
That's it.
Why that wasn't on the main show, I still don't understand that.
I don't get it either.
Whatever. But we haven't seen them in forever. And I
They
was
just
like,
gone. I was just like, what the heck?
I miss my Russian mother and my Portuguese mother. The international moms, I need you back on the screen.
Seriously.
But well deserved. And then then we get into the next part where I was like, I understand why you picked it, but really? But the next like big moment match that they had was from the Impact 1000th episode where we had the Knockouts 5-on-5 match, which I think like on paper I was like, okay, I understand why we picked it because it included some of your top current stars in Impact and the legends that made the Knockouts division and paved the way for the women that are currently in the company. So Awesome Kong, Gail Kim, Angelina Love, and the Beautiful People. And then, of course, you had Trinity and Deonna and Jordynne and Giselle and Savannah. I still think the highlight of this match was Gail Kim being used by Jordynne Grace as like a battering ram. It was amazing. And Gail Kim just like killing it in that match was the highlight for me.
I think this could have been done as a highlight package. Really set it up with some good angles, good shots, big moments for each of the people involved. So we could see the legends coming back and shining, the new stars, where they've gotten to, and showing them all working together. Because I think that would have had just the same amount of impact, no pun intended. But as having basically a few moments of the match divided up. But it was a fun match. That was right when I started coming back and watching Impact. So it was right before they got into the 1000th episode, part 1 and part 2. But yeah, it was fun to see all those folks come back together and actually get to perform together and put on a pretty fun match.
Indeed. So cool.
I know.
I didn't really understand. I understood why it was there, but it was like, honestly, the two matches prior to it were so like just intense and energetic and just electric. And this one was okay. And then I was, all right. I get it's just a clip show, which I can't stand, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. Can't stand clip shows, but these first two matches got me going. And I was like, oh, okay, it's a clip show, but I'm here for it now. And then this one, even though I enjoyed the match when I first saw it, I was just, I don't feel that it fit. And I know why they put it in there. As Mikey said, all the legends are there and they're star. I get it, I do. But I was just like, it was so not as, we don't have a storyline in this episode, and my brain is trying to latch onto something. And it was like, ooh, intense. Okay. I was, okay.
Yeah, I agree with Will here. I also feel because and I think Andrew was part of the reviews back then, or if it was just me and Will, but I remember we grilled the 2-part 1000th episode celebration.
Oh my God.
Really, we grilled it because of how the first half was so bad, and then the second half was decent. It was just like, why did we break this up in 2 parts? Yeah. Sure, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I will say, though, they did pick one of the highlights for me because the other one was the Mr. Fired match. I was like, they should have shown that, honestly.
Yeah, they should have.
That was the best part of the 1000th episode celebration.
That was the better. Yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely. They should have shown that one. But again, it was high energy and it was so cool. It was so good. I was like, oh my God, edge of my seat type stuff.
That was a fun match with everyone involved.
Yeah. But hey, whatever.
I'm happy to see lots of women's matches get highlighted on this first half, which made me happy. So from here, we get into our next thing. So I forgot about this match because then I was like, wait a minute, but honestly, this was a pretty fun match too. So this comes from Rebellion 2023. So this happened in April. So to put this into perspective before we talk about this match, because the next 3 matches came from Rebellion. So I'll start with this one. I had forgotten that Motor City Machine Guns were going after the Tag Team Championships at this point of the year. And they were facing off against the current champions, ABC and an Ultimate X Impact Tag Team match, which made me super really excited about all this. And then I was like, wait a minute, this happened? Oh, yeah, it was. This ABC Motor City Machine Guns are the top 2 tag teams outside of. Oh, I'll throw the Rascals as the top 3 tag teams right now that are currently featured on Impact Wrestling. And this was a phenomenal match. Of course, this is a shortened version of it, but I love an Ultimate X match, and the fact that it was for the tag team championships made me even happier. I was like, yes, I love this match.
Yeah, this match really just again really reminded me and cemented in me that how good ABC is, because they went out there with a team like Motor City Machine Guns, who are incredibly skilled individual wrestlers but amazing tag team wrestlers, and they've been doing that for so long. And to see ABC go out there and really, keep up with them and be on the same level of them, it's so awesome to see. And it's really getting to see the veterans face the rising stars, and getting to see that in a tag team match was pretty awesome. And then you had the Ultimate X feature, and Sabin and Shelley have done so many Ultimate X matches that they're just really good at like selling that style. And ABC are just such high energy guys too, that they excel at that kind of style as well. And getting to see them wrestle in it was super exciting. It was super fun to catch those highlights. And even like the way that they got the win at the end was super fun and interesting. And this was fun too, because it was something else that did give me a little bit of more excitement about the tag champions that are now again the tag champions heading into TNA, because I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are so good. They're really good together. So it was a fun little moment, quick enough match. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. I liked it.
It's a good, yes, I realized I was muted. I really enjoyed this match as well. One of the things I loved about this is that these 2 tag teams are just so unique in their own right. Like the Motor City Machine Guns, they're like a well-oiled machine.
Mm-hmm.
But ABC is like fluid, like water. Just water and oil. They're just so smooth on each other. Watching them work together, ABC, it was just fluid. It was just like continuous action, and I was like, what is happening? It was so well done. They were doing 400 different things in this one movement. And then the Motor City Machine Guns are just so great at connecting. And so this is one of my favorite matches. Just watching like technique styles, and I was just in awe of both these teams. And I love these sort of matches where you have to get the belts or whatever's hanging in the middle of the ring. It was really fun to watch. But gosh, both of these teams are just so good as teams. They're just, man, they were good. So I really enjoyed this.
Like I said, and I'll keep saying it, if you haven't gone and watched this match, please do, because this was amazing as well. And then we get into our next award, Men's Tag Team of the Year, which rightfully, in my opinion, goes to ABC. And I love that in the acceptance speech, Ace Austin said that it's a nice way to close out as Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champs and to be the first TNA Tag Team Champs. I'm really hoping we get redesigns with the belt. As a side note, really quick, I hope we get like new belts for all the champions, which would be really great. But honestly, ABC kind of carried 2023 for the men's tag team division. I will say the second half, I will probably either give it to the Rascals, and then I'll put Subculture in third.
I will say, I was thinking about it today. I think it tapered off at the end of the year, but when I started watching Impact, they had a really decent tag team division. They had I think Subculture were actually the tag champions when I started watching.
Yeah, because they held those belts until Emergence, where they lost them to the Rascals.
Yeah. So you had them, you had Rascals, you had ABC, you had Good Hands, Rich Swann and Sami Callihan were tagging. you had, who else was there? There was one other tag team that I thought of too. But obviously earlier on you had the Motor City Machine Guns. So you've had quite a few. You had Design was in there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good solid amount of tag teams. But yeah, Rascals and ABC took this year away for sure.
And so I'm excited to see what happens with ABC next. Okay, strap yourself in because I need you both to go watch this next match in entirety because Lord have mercy, this was one of my favorite matches from Rebellion. This wasn't even the main event. This was the semi-main event. What I love is that Impact's not afraid to put their women's championships as their main event for a lot of these pay-per-views, which is deserving stuff. Wrestling is better than men's wrestling. No, but in all seriousness, the women are really great. But so the next match from Rebellion 2023, this was the semi-main event, and this was for the vacant Impact World Championship between Kushida and Steve Maclin. So to give a little bit of backstory, so from Hard to Kill up until I want to say a little bit before their March pay-per-view Sacrifice, Josh Alexander was the champion. Then, literally about a week before a week before Sacrifice was supposed to happen, news broke out that Josh Alexander had to vacate the title because he had torn his shoulder. And so he needed surgery and he was going to be out for a while. So what Impact decided to do was they held a little bit because Steve Maclin was supposed to go one-on-one with Josh, but then Kushida won a #1 contendership match. And so they decided, hey, you two are going to fight it out for this championship. And funny thing enough, because of Sacrifice a week out when Josh got hurt, it was supposed to be Josh, Steve, and Kushida versus... Oh, no, wait, I take that back. It was Rich, Steve, and Josh was supposed to take on Kushida and the Motor City Machine Guns. But because Josh got hurt, Frankie Kazarian stepped in to fill in for Josh, and that match was fun at Sacrifice. But then, like I stated before, the two people who have #1 contendership for this match, they decided to throw them together to see who would become the new Impact World Champion. Lord have mercy, this match was baller. This was one of my favorite matches from Rebellion too. I was just how fast-paced this match was. Kushida with all the submissions, Steve Maclin out here destroying Kushida too. This was a hard-fought match, and this ended up being like, I was like, yeah, now I remember why I put this as one of my favorite matches from this year. Moving on, no, just kidding. Andrew, you are muted. Andrew, you're muted.
But he was going though, man. I was like,
He was getting into it. I was like, yes, but I want to hear you.
Yeah, no, I thought Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo did a really good... No, I'm just kidding. No, I thought this match was a lot of fun. I haven't gotten to see a lot of Kushida and Maclin, especially recently, because they started to taper off at the end of the year. So getting to see some more matches from the two of them and this last year from Impact was super cool. They wrestled each other. It was awesome to see the different styles, especially when you have someone like Kushida, who is the smaller wrestler, doing more of the grappling wrestling against the much larger Steve Maclin. That was awesome to see in the way their styles clashed. It made me more a fan of Steve Maclin. Yeah, it was super exciting, and I'll definitely have to go check this one out to see the full match of it. But yeah, I like it. It was cool to get to see this, and it definitely was one of those highlight matches that getting to see what they showed us got me a lot more interested in going and watching not just that match, but the whole pay-per-view.
it was good. It was a good match. But I was more into the visual candy than anything else. Sorry, I got lost in this one. I think I sent a message to Mikey. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. Maclin is way sexier with a full beard.
Deonna Purrazzo is a lucky woman.
Yeah, seriously. Bitch. Not really. No, I really liked this match. It was actually fun. And I had never actually seen much of Kushida's fighting style. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but never not a full match, but an extended clip. And I really like it. And I'm excited. Foreshadow.
Yes. we will talk more about that towards the tail end because we got some fun stuff to talk about.
And so I'm really excited about that. But no, I want to go. This is another one. I've basically done all except for the one. I've got them all on my list to go back and watch because I want to watch the full match. Yeah, this looks like
Definitely
pretty damn good.
I know. I forget. I was like, a lot of this first half was before Will and Andrew were part of these reviews.
Most of them were before me. I was like, I think they were all before me, except for the one.
Except for the Slammiversary match, because at this point, both of you were a part of Slammiversary, I think.
I wasn't part of Slammiversary.
Oh, no.
No, you're right. No.
Oh, I was not.
Never mind, because now that I think about it, your first pay-per-view was Emergence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was the one after. Wow, I watched Slammiversary by myself. Damn.
I was after Emergence.
Yeah.
Whoa. Listen, it's been a crazy year. Wow, I watched Slammiversary and reviewed it by myself. Holy crap. Okay. Anyways, that's fun. But yeah, this match was awesome. And then the next match from Rebellion was even crazier too. For the Vacant Knockouts World Championship, Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace. Similar story here. Mickie James got injured. And originally this was supposed to be a triple threat match for this title, but because Mickie got injured the week before, or the Thursday before the pay-per-view, Mickie cut an in-ring promo stating that I hated this promo because she got me good because she had to vacate it, but then she left her cowboy hat in the ring, which made me think, oh my gosh, is she retiring? Is this injury really bad? I was like, is Mickie James about to be retired? No. And then a couple months later, she would come back. I was like, Mickie James, I'm mad at you. You made me believe you. Like, I was so upset. The whole video package for that, though, and the promo itself, and then it cuts back to Jordynne and Deonna watching on a television screen. And as soon as Mickie leaves, they both just stare at each other and they slowly get up and they both walk in opposite directions. I was like, ooh, this is how you make me care about this. Like I said, Mickie had to vacate the title, so Deonna and Jordynne were going to fight to see who would become the new Knockouts champion. Listen, this match is already a banger. Anytime Deonna and Jordynne get in the ring together, I already know it's magic. And this match, again, was also hard-hitting. And Deonna Purrazzo, this is where she became the 3-time Knockouts champion at Rebellion 2023. And it's crazy to look on this now that she's no longer with the company and doing free agency.
Which I have more on that.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. I can't wait. But if it wasn't said already, this was the main event for Rebellion 2023. This was your main event, and this match delivered for me.
You brought that up. There was a great point about Deonna Purrazzo in this match and her not being with Impact anymore, or potentially she's at least a free agent. I feel like the way that Deonna Purrazzo went out, and we saw this a bit throughout 2023 and with other performers too, is I really enjoy it when people seem to be setting up the next people coming up, and the knockouts in Impact, and we got to see it so much during these highlights, where it feels like everybody gets put over in the match, the winners and the losers. And we got to see this because we got to see people winning and we got to see people losing in these big matches, and they got to be in matches where they were main events. And from a business perspective, I really appreciate that, because it's really, when everyone succeeds, it's just better for everybody. And so I have to say, I really appreciate that from some of these performers. And Deonna Purrazzo seems to be one of those kind of performers. So it's sad to see her go, but I'm happy that she seems to gone out in a way that's made it better for everyone that's staying behind after she's gone, and hopefully there'll be some good stuff for her too when she goes.
Oh, absolutely. Will, your quick thoughts about Deonna versus Jordynne at Rebellion?
Oh, it was great. I love these two, man. I could watch these two fight all day. They probably don't want to do that, but I could totally watch it, because it's two powerhouses in that ring, and they're just fun to watch. I literally I don't care, just random match. Just put them in there and let them fight for a while. I could literally just watch them do it because I just love. Like and one of the things I loved is at the end of that match when Deonna was like down there with it on her shoulder and looking at Jordynne, and Jordynne was just shaking her head and smiling. It's that brings me back to them every time. Ooh, what's next? Give me more. Show me what's up. Tell me what's going to happen next. So no, this match is fantastic. I love it. Absolutely.
The fun fact about this is that Deonna ended up winning the title, and then this is where Jordynne Grace took a couple months off, and where she did bodybuilding for competitions for a little bit, but she also took some time off. And then before she came back later during the summer, which was great to see. But I forgot about this. I was like, oh yeah, this is where Jordynne left to go take some time off. And Deonna just ran with the championship all the way through the rest of the spring. And before we get to Deonna Purrazzo's Kryptonite, which we'll talk about in a little bit, the final award that was given out on this part was the one to watch in 2024. And I was really happy that everybody else voted the same way I did. The one to watch in 2024 is Miss Kylin King. I was like, absolutely. Listen, after the Call Your Shot gauntlet and the mixed tag she had with Maclin, and her and Steve taking on Jordynne and Bully Ray. Oh yes, Kylin King is that girl for me. I cannot wait to see her in 2024.
I have a feeling and I could be wrong. I'm maybe 50-50 on my predictions. I feel like Jordynne is going to take the title from Trinity, and I feel like her first threat is going to be Kylin. But I could be wrong, and I would still love to see if it doesn't go in that direction. I think Kylin King winning the digital media title would be an awesome run for her, because I feel like she's got the chops to go out there and wrestle anyone, any gender that's going to challenge for that title. And she could reign as the king of the knockouts, really just going out there and fighting everybody. I think she should. It would be awesome to see something like that happen for her too.
I love Kylin. She has quickly risen up in the ranks of one of my favorite knockouts. But yes, one to watch in 2024. Okay, now we get to the good stuff. Rebellion has happened. Deonna is running with the championship, and then they highlighted a actual television episode, the May 4th edition of Impact. Why? Because this is the debut of our favorite girl, Trinity, making her way into Impact. God, I forgot how special this moment was. I loved it so much. I was like, because at this point, there were rumors flying around. Mercedes Moné was making headlines in New Japan at this time. So I was like, okay, where's the other half of the tag team that walked out of the other company because the women's tag team division was not being treated right? Lo and behold, Trinity pops up on this episode and announces that she is a part of Impact Wrestling. And this is where she also comes face to face with both Jordynne and Deonna for the first time too. This was a special moment. I loved it so much. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how great this was. And then I was reminded, I'm like, damn, she's been in the company since May. Holy crap, it's been a long 2023. A lot. She has quickly, the rocket was strapped to her from this episode onwards, and she just rose to the ranks.
Yeah,
this was awesome. This is great.
It was Trinity and the Ring of Honor's women's champion. This year was all about them taking those titles and just running the companies. Like, Trinity did, like, from the way that she debuted is how a superstar should debut in a company when they come over from a different company, and what she has been able to do in and with Impact is exactly what was not being done properly with her in previous companies. And it's so awesome to see where she's come in this time, and the fact that she's getting to carry the Knockouts division, I shouldn't say carry, she's getting to lead the Knockouts division into the TNA Knockouts division. It's super cool. It's awesome for her too. Getting to see her kind of transition that belt from Impact back to TNA is pretty cool too.
Love it. You weren't part of this debut, but you got to see it in its entirety. So listen, there is no secret that three of us love Trinity, but not more so one person more than you. You are the biggest Trinity supporter, and we love you for that. What did you think of getting to see the debut of Trinity in all of its glory?
I was on cloud nine because this was like I never got to see this. I was just, and in the minute her theme song came on, I was already moving. I was like, yes, here we go. The girl is of course lit up like a Christmas tree, and I loved every bit of that. And I just, man, she's killer, man. She's killer, and I am a huge Trinity fan. And I know, even though I know more than likely she's going to lose the title at the beginning of TNA because it feels like it's appropriate, I'm still excited to see what's to come for her. I would love to see her take on another title match and just run them, man. Just get in there, and if you lose this one, go grab another one. I just want to, yeah. I really hope, and this is what I really hope, is that if and when she loses her title in the new year, that they don't just put her on back burner, because that will really irritate me so much. Because she's such a superstar. She's fun to watch. When she enters a room, people just get ecstatic. Still, it hasn't worn off. That's the big thing. Is sometimes it's, oh yay, here comes so okay, woo. But with her, it's like it hasn't worn off. And it's been what, 7 months now? She's been in this basically 7 months now, and it still hasn't gotten old. And which speaks volumes, really. And so I'm very much excited to see where they're going to take her. What's after this? If she loses this to Jordynne Grace, then what's the next big thing for her? Because I think it would be a disservice to her and to TNA to backbench her for whatever reason, which I don't think is going to happen, but it's a fear I have. Because, okay, we're going to set you off to the side for a little while we do these other things, which can happen, which I hope doesn't happen. Yeah. But this was great. This was fantastic to watch. The original intro. Because it's a little different now. It's the same song, but the video is a little different than it was in this one. But yeah, this is great. I love it. It just made me love her more. And then later, in the sequence later, when she's talking, oh my god, that was fantastic. I freaking love this woman.
We've already explained why all three of us love her, and it made total sense because next up award was the Knockout of the Year, which went to Trinity. And one thing I will say, I was just like, how do you have moving lights like under your eyebrows? I was like, yeah.
They were on her eyelids. They were on her eyelids, not even her eyebrows. That was crazy.
I was like, that's great, but
it was where her eyeshadow would be, and
it's so good.
I was like, what is that? That is so cool.
I was like, okay, Trinity just won everything for me now, but yeah, this definitely was the year for Trinity. And it just makes me happy that her and Mercedes found success outside of the big machine before, and I was still upset the way that the WWE universe like echoed and treated them and just tore them down online, and now they're winning at life. I'm excited to see what 2024 has for Mercedes now that she's healed up from injury. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And then finally, we end this part one of the best 2023. We're not done with Trinity quite yet, because from Slammiversary 2023, this is for the Knockouts World Championship, where it was Deonna who was champion going into this match, but coming out of it versus Trinity, who ended up winning that title and became your new Knockouts champion. And then Trinity just held that title from July all the way up to currently. And fun, yes, this match made me cry because I was like, oh my gosh, he won. But this match was also the first iteration of Deonna and Trinity, and this was my favorite run-in that they had. The second and third ones were great, but the first one, woo, this match was great.
I think 2023, like, two of the people, especially when you're talking about Impact, two of the people that 2023 was their year was Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity. We talked a lot about how much Trinity did in this year, July till now, holding those titles, being the champion, being kind of the main focus of the company and all that. But I feel like Deonna Purrazzo was the other half of that puzzle. She gave Trinity her main foil. She was the one that held the title. She was in the trenches for that title before Trinity got into the company. She was having crazy matches of her own, and then you put them together, and they were really good against each other, both in and out of the ring. So I think this was a great way to end this episode and remind everyone, no matter what's going on in 2024 for them, like how much these two did in 2023 and how good they are. They were the two top women in Impact for 2023, and they showed it in this, which was really great.
I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm. It was good. Like I said, anytime I see Trinity fighting, I'm all into it. And of course, Deonna was amazing as well. I just loved her. I love her fighting style. I thought this and Trinity were just fire. Man.
I loved it so much. This was a really fun match. And this was a nice ending for this episode and a nice time capsule reminder for me, because after Slammiversary, I was like, this is where Bi-Conics started to kick off. And then I was like, it would be the next pay-per-view from Emergence, in which I would pick up Will. And then not too long later, Andrew, we picked up you. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I can see the journey that we made. It's so great. But ultimately, that brings us to the end of this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to quickly rate this clip show, which is very weird to say, just on whatever scale out of 10 you want to use. And then we're going to go into the other half of the anticipation we're waiting for, because we got a lot of stuff announced for TNA and Hard to Kill. So this should be fun. So I'm going to go first. I think for a clip show, and again, because a lot of these matches were condensed in a way, but I still enjoyed it. It's really hard for me to rate this because it wasn't anything new, because I had seen all these matches in their entirety, because all of these came from pay-per-views. I still enjoyed myself. I'm going to give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. Not because anything was bad, but I was like, I've seen all these matches before. They were great. But again, because I've seen them all before, I was just like, this is a pretty good reminder of why I liked a lot of the first half of this year.
Yeah, I think as a clip show, this was a really good clip show. I think they put really good match choices and really good clips of the matches to get people interested in going back and watching those matches and interested in everyone that's in there moving forward. So as a clip show, I'd probably give it a 7.8. It was really good, entertaining clips, good choices of matches, gave me a lot of information about the wrestlers. As a weekly show, I'd probably give it more of a 6.8, maybe 6.5, because it's a clip show. And it's also a clip show that's one of two two-part clip shows that came after a previous clip show of matches we hadn't seen before yet. And we're going into a pay-per-view. So I'm still holding out hope, but I'm really hoping that we get to see something more from Impact as we transition into TNA, other than recapping stuff that's already happened and previews of things that are to come with that preview or pay-per-view.
Definitely. And then finally, William, what do you give this part one of the clip show? What rating do you give it?
I hate clip shit. So, if I had to look at it, that's hard for me to do. Because if I look at it as an episode, it's going to get a real low score. If I look at it as just, it is like what it is. I'm in about the same boat, 7.5, 7.8, 7.9, close to 8, but it was good. I enjoyed these matches. It makes me want to go back and watch them. I guess that's good. I didn't lose interest in Impact and want to walk away, so I guess that's also good. I think it's funny that we're going to have a second night of this, but honestly, okay. And then I'm like, what are we going to fill the rest of the time up with? Which I'm assuming we'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, so I'd say about between a 7.5, 7.9 overall. Yeah. I agree. If it was an episode, it'd be like a 5. But yeah.
I will say, I feel like they showed the stronger half of Impact's year on this first part, because the second half is when the three of us became a trio. And while some of the wrestling was good, it also got rough towards the end. It was rough towards the end. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, okay, I'm interested to see what we pick for the second half of the year. But that concludes this recap. So before we sign off for the night, we got a lot to discuss, because like I previously mentioned at the beginning of this review, at the time of this recording, we are about 3.5 weeks out from the rebranded TNA having its first pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, coming us live from the Palms in Las Vegas, Nevada. Like, I'm so excited. This is great. I'm excited for this. But we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to, before we jump into Hard to Kill, Impact over the last week and a half or so has told us that we had some people re-sign as well as signed new people. So we're going to start with the re-signings. We have been told that Eddie Edwards has re-signed with Impact, Brian Myers has re-signed, and the Rascals have re-signed, which is also great. I'm also going to work under the assumption that our current champions are already re-signed as well. And their challengers as well. Like, I know Moose is not going nowhere. I think Jordynne's not going nowhere. Trinity and Alex Shelley definitely not going nowhere. But the more important bit, we have 3 new individuals who are new to TNA and have signed. First one came from our final resolution. So Trent Seven is now officially signed with TNA, which makes me super excited. And then not even like a week later, we get news that Kushida has signed with TNA as well. I was just like, that made me super excited. But then I got even more excited because recently we found out that Miss Dani Luna herself signed with TNA. Here's hoping she could get the Subculture boys to sign as well. Seriously. Listen, if TNA can sign Subculture, I'm like, the tag team division is gonna be good.
I'm so happy about Dani Luna. This was probably my favorite
Same.
signing. Her match with Jordynne Grace was
I want to see more.
awesome. Yes, she's such a good addition to the Knockouts division, and I feel like she's someone with the right partner could also be a fun member of the Knockouts tag division. So excited, so happy about that. That's awesome.
I'm just like, I cried of happiness when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, I got my wish. Because since Turning Point, I was like, I need y'all to sign Dani Luna. Don't sleep on her. And Scott D'Amore actually listened. And then, of course, I forgot because this wasn't part of this recent week. But at the way beginning, we also learned that PCO has re-signed with Impact Wrestling as well. Listen, more PCO crazy stunts. Like, I'm excited to see what our Canadian monster is going to be capable of with this TNA rebrand. So much fun. So now, let's get to what everyone has been waiting for. We have a crap ton of stuff announced as far as the matches that are taking place at Hard to Kill. So let's start with what we got this earlier today, yesterday. We got our 3 pre-show matches that are happening at Hard to Kill. On the countdown for Hard to Kill, we have Rich Swann versus Steve Maclin in just a singles match, which I think is going to be a baller. We have Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers taking on Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian, which is also going to be a banger. But more importantly, this is the big one for all 3 of us, because we love Tommy Dreamer in this household. Not really. But we could talk about it. It is a Digital Media Championship match between Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve, of all people, in a no DQ match, which has me excited. I have questions though. I was just like, but you had Crazy Steve lose. Why are we? What?
Yeah, this is one of those ones that would really benefit from at least a week or 2 of some kind of information on how this is even. Why is this happening? I'm not ashamed to say it, but if nothing else, this just has me continue to hold out hope that Tommy Dreamer will be losing this title. So hopefully we'll see Crazy Steve come out of Hard to Kill as the new Digital Media Champion, and we'll get to move on with other storylines for that title.
Oh, absolutely. I really want to see Crazy Steve win this title. He should have won it the first time. So now let's get into our main card. I'm going to start with our only announced non-championship match. We have a Knockouts Ultimate X match happening. Holy crap. Listen, all of us have seen various iterations of the Ultimate X match this year in our time with the Bi-Conics and Table for 2+U. But this is the second ever Knockouts Ultimate X match. And I'm working under the assumption that the winner of this match is going to get a #1 contendership to the Knockouts Championship, or it could be for the tag title or digital media, like we were talking off air. I'm really excited to see which women they pick. And of course, I'm pretty sure immediately on my list is I definitely want to see Kylin King. And just because I think the athleticism would be really fun to see. Miss Sunny Kiss, I think, needs to be in there too. I want to see more of Sunny, man. I'm excited. But I would love to also see them be like, and just signing with the company like 2 hours ago. Like, I need to see some surprises, and I'm excited to see which women participate in this.
I think this would be one of those matches where we can get some big pushes for some of the competitors, like you said, like Kylin and Sunny, who are new or are looking for that singles push. It would be really cool to see some of those people get that kind of push. And then this is also the fun type of match, like you said. This is that Royal Rumble style match where we could get the surprise entrant that, with this being the return of TNA, is a great place to drop a new signee. And there just happened to be some new, recently relieved of their 90 days status wrestlers just floating around that we might be able to see. There's a few of them that might fit into this division. I think she's from Australia. That might be fun in there, but
seriously, I was like, I don't understand how that happened, but you know what? I think she's perfect for here. And not to go over to the men's quickly, but there's a certain Mustafa Ali I would love to see at least come for a short stint here in TNA. Listen, I just want Ali versus Josh. That's the match I want to see really badly.
Ali versus Shelley.
Listen, Ali versus Gresham. Ali versus Bailey. Oh my god. There's just Ali versus everybody in that men's locker room. Funny enough, in his little promo video that he posted on social media, he called out a lot of the main champions across a bunch of the promotions, and Alex Shelley was one of them. I was like,
nice.
Not tomorrow, make it happen.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Seriously. All right, Knockouts Ultimate X is going to be fun. Now let's talk about our championship matches, because we only have 3 so far on the main card, but woo, they know how to already make me excited. The X Division Championship will be on the line in a triple threat, and it is going to be Chris Sabin defending his title against the newly signed Kushida, and being on loan from AAA, El Hijo del Vikingo is also going to be in this triple threat, and I'm just like, sold immediately. Just give it to me now. Match 10 out of 10, don't care.
I feel like Vikingo needs to wrestle Will Ospreay for the like multi-promotional world title, because these two are like everywhere wrestling everybody, and it feels like every day. So those two are crazy. This match should be so insane, and it should be so much fun.
Listen, it's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna be flying all over the place. I'm super excited. If Chris Sabin versus Kenta showed me anything at Bound for Glory, Chris Sabin still has it. And when you go up against somebody like Kushida and Vikingo, listen, I'm just drooling at the mouth. I'm just like, give it to me now. For all intents and purposes, I may need a few packs of cigarettes after that match. Honestly, our championship matches, I'm going to be spent after all of them, because I know how great they're going to be. So let's just jump into it. So the Knockouts World Championship, Trinity versus Jordynne Grace. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready. Oh, my body's not ready, you guys. Like, I always wanted this match when Trinity became a part of Impact. The fact it's going to be at one of the big 4 pay-per-views. I'm not ready. I might cry. I might yell explicits at my television. I may start kissing the television screen. There's going to be a whirlwind of emotions, but I am so stoked to see Jordynne Grace, since her return, have this upward momentum, and to have Trinity be a part of the first pay-per-view Knockouts Championship match in this rebranded history for TNA makes me super excited. This is the only match that is 50-50 for me. I can make arguments as to why Trinity should retain, and I can make arguments why Jordynne should win. All I know is both of these women are going to kill it, and I'm actually really excited to see how Trinity fares against Jordynne in terms of just wrestling. This is their first interaction one-on-one. So
I think no matter what happens in this match, I'm going to be both excited and sad. Because if Jordynne Grace wins, I'll be excited for her, and if Trinity loses, I'll be sad, and vice versa. If Trinity wins, I'll be super excited. If Jordynne Grace loses, I'll be sad. Because I think that no matter where this match goes, it's going to be good, I think. And I think it's going to be good for TNA, no matter which way they go with it. It's going to be one of those where it's going to be like, I'm going to be both happy and sad at the same time. Bring it on. Let's get it done.
I feel like the chances are that no matter what happens with this too, this will be part of a feud. Whether they spread that out over a few years and play into this them getting to meet each other again in the for the title, or if it's a feud that lasts more consecutively, just directly after, right after itself. I feel like this is going to be one of their feuds. I feel like with the way they've been positioning them, Trinity and Jordynne are definitely two of their top knockouts. I feel like we are going to be lucky enough to get more of this match, and I think this match is just going to set that bar for those future matches.
I'm super excited. I love both of these women so much, and I think TNA did a really good job of making this part of their first big Knockouts Championship match for the rebrand of TNA. And I'm not sleeping on the men's match either, which we're going to talk about right now. Alex Shelley defending that title against Moose. Lord have mercy, they're going to kill each other. They're going to slap each other silly. And I'm here for all the power move and violence. This is going to be so good. I am leaning towards Alex Shelley retaining. I'm like 60% sure, but I can also see if they want to give it to Moose. Because Moose held it down during the pandemic era of Impact too. Like, he held that down. But I think Alex Shelley is doing some of his best work as a single star now that and I forget that this is his first run with the Impact World Championship.
It's crazy.
This is his first time as champion. I'm like, he's been here for 20 plus years and y'all haven't gave this man the title yet? Wow, that's crazy. But I'm really excited for this. Whereas Josh versus Alex was very methodical and two surgeons trying to cut each other apart methodically. I just think this is going to be a bruiser match where they're going to knock snot out of each other. I'm excited. Again, so good. So good.
Yeah, this should be a really fun match. Seeing Alex Shelley take on Josh Alexander, so someone with that size and power advantage, I think gives us a really good idea of Shelley versus Moose. We've gotten to see him in matches with Moose and with other big guys in like tag team matches and stuff like that. But I think, yeah, I feel like this is probably going to be the main event. And I feel like they're going to treat it as such, especially this being the main event for the newly rebranded TNA World title. So yeah, I feel like this, no matter how the outcome of this goes, these two they're going to put it all out there because they're going to just spend everything they have, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to benefit from that, I think.
Excited. We have a lot to look forward to, and that's everything that has been announced so far.
There's only 2 different titles that are not yet been announced for matches yet, and it's both the tag team titles.
I'm excited to see. And again, we also got the announcement that worlds are colliding, so we don't even know. Maybe there might be some surprise opponents for our men's tag team, for the women's tag team. Those are the only championship matches. There's so many people who are yet to be on this card, and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, too, is we're building to Hard to Kill, and they also announced the February pay-per-view date and everything. No Surrender is taking place in Louisiana in February, and I'm excited, but I'm also mad at Impact Wrestling because they are going to be airing the day before Elimination Chamber for WWE. Fuck me, you guys. I got to do 2 pay-per-view reviews. Honestly, though, it's going to be great. And the last thing I will say, too, because I forgot to mention, even though she is not an in-ring wrestling talent, she is going to be taking over duties. Miss Jade Chung aka Mrs. Josh Alexander, is going to be the new ring announcer for TNA. I'm so excited. I can't.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome.
It's great, especially for Josh. He and his wife get to travel together, get a babysitter for a kid. But I'm excited.
Didn't she
for her.
wrestle for Impact or TNA or whatever?
She wrestled for a little bit, and then she got married, and she was a stay-at-home mom. And I'm happy to see her like be the new ring announcer, since our current one is going to be retiring after 20 plus years of being with the company. Insane.
That's awesome too, and that's cool that he's going out. He's retiring. She's coming in. Her family's already in Impact. So this whole rebirth process has been really cool. So it's fun to see it in all the aspects of Impact.
It is. And in a small way, I love that we have a women ring announcer to be our main one. And then Gia's still going to be doing correspondence back in the backstage area. So it's like, yes, I'm telling you, man, the women are taking over as correspondents in all the wrestling promotions. Like we have Jade, Gia, Lexi, Renee. Even the WWE girls are taking over with the interviews. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm super excited for Hard to Kill. And of course, I'm excited for No Surrender. Please let there be a Mardi Gras themed street fight. That's all I want. You're in Louisiana, for goodness sakes. You got to have some sort of Louisiana Bayou street fight or something. Like, I'm really excited. But gentlemen, unfortunately, that is the end of this week's episode of Table for Two. We'll be back next week with the second half of the Best of 2023, and it will be our finale underneath the Table for Two Plus You brand, because come January, we will be rebranding ourselves just like TNA, and we will be known as TNA's Takedown Troop, the new name for the TNA review team here at Bi-Conics. Great. Of course, if you love this episode and this review, make sure to follow us at the Bi-Conics YouTube channel, where you can check out other reviews for all the shows we do. It's a lot here. You can follow us all over the social medias at BC WrestlePod. And of course, if you want to follow us where your favorite podcast can be found, make sure to subscribe to the Bi-Conics Wrestling Podcast, where expect some really fun stuff in 2024. But from myself, Will, and Andrew, and the rest of the Bi-Conics boys, remember, take care of yourself, love one another. And as always, stay Bi-Conic, you beautiful bastard. Until the next review, we'll see you then. Ciao for now.